Welcome back OST, welcome back to the OST community. My name is Greg Spraggins. I am the sole developer and designer for the Marble proof of concept. For those unfamiliar with me or unfamiliar with my proof of concept, Marble is a crowdfunding microeconomy proof of concept built and managed on the OST utility blockchain. It attempts to recreate the contemporary online crowdfunding experience in a tokenized environment. So basically, this is a blockchain utilizing Kickstarter, Indiegogo, or GoFundMe. I mentioned this on my blog, but from a practical standpoint, we believe the crowdfunding scene in general can benefit in particularly from blockchain ledgers, creating an environment of transparency and hopefully accountability for fundees that can prevent a lot of the dramatics we see in projects that meet their funding goals but fail to deliver on promises in the end. Now, this is typically due to mismanagement of funds or sometimes in criminal activity, they'll just take the money and run. But basically, I think that blockchains can solve a lot of these problems because if everyone knows where the money is going, then it's going to create an environment where no one's going to want to steal or misuse their funds. Accountability all around. So a lot of this is going to be familiar to those who actually checked out my original submission. This is the home page for Marble. And the first new feature that we have to show you would be the user login. All of these users are stored in a Firebase database. We have a little bit of light authentication there. Now, the second new feature that I have to show everyone would be the transaction module. Now, before we only had this contributions tab, which basically showed all the projects that the demo user has contributed to along with the curated bags, which are all the projects that the demo user is hosting, basically. The transactions tab is new. The transactions tab is using the new wallet-like features, specifically the ledger method from the API. I particularly am using the JavaScript SDK from my website. And here you can see all of the transactions that demo user in particular has had. So everywhere you see to me, it's basically describing to the wallet, anything that's coming in. That's re-emphasized by the plus sign by the transaction amount. And you can see a lot of these transactions have actually been made tonight via me testing. The great thing about that now is that it's right in front of you, and if we decide we want to add funds, let's say we want to add $1 worth of Marble, you will have, like our original submission, the Marble amount increment itself live along with the dollar conversion. And you can see right now, we've added that 14.25 Marble to my wallet. Time right now is 9:25:55 p.m. Just a few hours before we are due to submit these projects. Now moving on, let's say we wanted to actually make a user-to-user transaction. We wanted to actually contribute to a user's project. Like before, we can either go through the Explorers tab, click on Ideas, and we have this nice filtering feature like mentioned before. We're going to go to this particular project, which we've seen before. At this point, it's actually met its funding goals due to me using it for testing purposes so many times. But just for the fun of it, let's contribute one more Marble. Now keep your eyes on the 13,063 out of 1,300, Marble. Click on Contribute. And like before, we should immediately get our transaction hash with a success message, along with our API promise populating here on the right side. Now, a little more emphasis on this. You can see that this is the promise data for the transactions. And the live log at the bottom, which will take us to the OST view of that particular transaction. Now this one's brand new, so the information is still populating. We can go ahead and close that.